No matter what kind of project you have around the shop, if you're looking for some tips and some help, it's time for Sam's Garage, presented by ARP with Master Mechanic Sam Memmolo.
Welcome back to Sam's Garage. I have a friend that's doing a Firebird. He brought me this subframe. It's pretty rusty. It's been sitting outside. He's a paint and body guy. They take forever. He's got his car well on the way, brought it to me. He said, hey, can you go through it, put control arm bushings in it, put some ball joints, change the springs, get it ready to go in. He's also, could you slick it up a little bit? Well, it's got a little rust on it. We all see rusty frames. So I'm going to coat it with KBS coatings, which is a three-step process, okay? First, you get all this in the kit. This is a cleaner, degreaser, cleans everything down, helps to get rid of rust. Then, of course, the blast. This is a powerful rust remover. These are all biodegradable, by the way. This etches it like an etching primer. And, of course, it leaves a zinc coating behind it, so the paint will really adhere to it. That's all outside, because you're going to wash this off with a garden hose. So let's take it out, do the first two steps. All right, the first step is we're outside here. KBS Clean. This is concentrated, by the way. It makes 10 times its volume. Put it in a spray bottle with some water. What you want to do is you want to spray it on. And depending, this is getting rid of grease, wax, any of that stuff. You want to get rid of that so the sealer will stick. So just coat this. Now, you don't need a lot. I'm only going to do a section of this for now. Get it on there. It does its job. What you don't want to do is let it dry. You want to keep it wet. Now, you should knock off the heavy rust with, some sandpaper or a wire brush. The more prep you do, the better it's going to look. But this really is a good degreaser. And if you stay it on it, now if it's really, really bad crud, you can let it stay on for a long time. It's not going to hurt anything. Sit there for a little bit, and I'll hose it off. The next step is KBS Rust Blast. Now what this is, it's a powerful rust removal. Okay, it minimizes flash rusting. It leaves the zinc phosphate coating behind. So again, we just spray this on. Now just like the first product when we used the clean, you want to get this on here good. And depending on how much rust you're dealing with, you can agitate this with a brush a little bit. It's biodegradable, it's non-toxic, not going to hurt the ground or your animals, which is real important to me. And you want to let it do its job. You want to let it set for 10 or 15 minutes. Heavy, heavy rust, let it set for a couple hours. Just don't let it dry before you rinse it. Just keep it wet. And this is doing a great job. It's like a etching primer. And again, we're preparing the surface for the RustSeal. This really does a great job of getting the rust off. All right, we've got our subframe inside. This rail that I used, the degreaser, the cleaner, and the blast. It's all dry now. You want to make sure it's perfectly dry, and you can see how it's the difference night and day between these two rails. Now, you get gloves. Wear the gloves, because I promise you, when this coating gets on you, that's the end of the story. It's on you. So you are fairly warned. You get a brush from the can, stir it up, and this just brushes on easy. Don't go whipping on it and making bubbles, but don't worry about the brush marks, because no matter how bad the brush marks are, they go away. When this is done, it's self-leveling. It flows out. What I'm doing here is I'm actually encapsulating the rust. When it says seal, it seals the oxygen. When you seal the oxygen and can no longer get oxygen, that's the end of the rust. And again, like I said, be careful. You notice I've got cardboard down underneath where I'm going. I'm not going to do this whole subframe, obviously, but I just got a drop there, and I don't want to get it on my pretty floor. I like my shop floor. By the way, this shop floor is KBS frame coater in a gray. Take your time now. I'm not going to go all the way up here because I'm going to work on this front, and I'm going to replace all these steel lines. These lines are, I don't know what year this Firebird is, but I know those lines are older than I am. And what we're doing here is totally encapsulating and sealing the rust. That will be the end of the rust. So let me go ahead and brush some of this on. We'll let it set, and you watch how it flows out. There it is after the first coat. No drips, no runs, no errors. It's absolutely beautiful. Second coat, it'll be even slicker. Let it cure good. It becomes real tough, but it's not going to, chip or crack. It really does a great job, and it's encapsulated the rust, so there is no more rust. To do the inside of the frame, we have our KBS cavity coater. You put this wand all the way down inside here. You pull the trigger, and you just start drawing it back, 360-degree spray, and that coats the whole inside. And of course, this passed a 4,000-hour salt spray, creeps into the wells. It really does a good job. This is how simple it is with KBS coatings to totally seal it out from rusting, making it look good. Would you rather look at this or that when you crawled underneath the car? I personally would do it in satin, not in gloss, but this guy wants gloss. We're going to fix this all up, coat the whole thing, and I'll get it ready to go back to him. Right now, we need to take a break, so stick around.